I've been streaming myself drawing my draw the prompt ideas every week, and this time the word was fall. If you don't know about draw the prompt, this is a hashtag that I have over on Instagram. I put up a new word every 2 weeks and you just have to draw what that word reminds you of. I started this prompt thing to help me and you have ideas and inspiration every week and to motivate us to draw. This can be seen both as a challenge, where you try new things, or as practice. You can just draw simple sketches, studies of things you can improve, and others. For me, I've been trying to push myself. Fall is an interesting word because it can have a lot of meanings. Upon some thought, I decided to do something with falling stars. Since I avoid doing backgrounds a lot, I thought it was a good chance to practice that. So right now I'm starting with very simple backgrounds, experimenting and seeing how I prefer to work with them. This time I also thought about giving a bit of a different coloring. Since I want to draw falling stars, then I need to give that a night vibe to my coloring. All in all, I've been trying to get out of my comfort zone. I'm still drawing mainly characters, but I'm adding more to it or drawing them in different situations. And getting out of my comfort zone means drawing things I'm less confident about. And this is something I wanted to talk to you about in this video. Because I know that's something a lot of you struggle with, especially when you're just starting to draw. And I know this because I've been there. When you're starting to learn, it's easy to not like your drawings. Whatever you draw looks nothing like you imagine in your head. In fact, this was something that made me almost give up on drawing for a few years. As I grew, I started seeing art that I loved and wanted to do the same, but it always looked terrible to me, and so I started drawing less and less. Thing is, when we're looking at professional artists, we forget that we can draw like them. How can we? We just started, so of course we can't be perfect right away. Remember that drawing is a skill, not a talent. You're not born a professional artist. We practice, we learn, and we improve all the time. Even those artists you admire so much are still improving and changing. A few years back I wouldn't notice this. But today, when I look at artists that I've been following for some years, I notice small differences in their art. We're always changing, improving, and learning, even if it's small things. So I think the first tip I have for you, and yes, I think I do recommend this all the time, is to never compare yourself to other artists. I know it's very hard at the beginning. You don't feel like you have your own style yet, your drawings are not as good as other artists, but listen, you're not supposed to. You're just starting. So take it slow. The artists you're comparing yourself to have more years of practice than you. Others might be younger than you and have amazing art already, but you don't know how much they practice, and we all have different paces. If I'm comparing myself to other artists I know, I had a very slow pacing. Like I said, I did stop focusing on my art for a while. When I came back, I had to start almost from zero again. And yes, I often look at my drawings and then at the works of my favorite artists, and I'd compare myself to them. This is very damaging for us and sometimes enough to not continue and improve as an artist. Look for your favorite artists and follow as many as you want. My Twitter feed is almost just artists. I barely follow anything else. I just love to see what others can come up to, their styles and ideas. Today, this is something that inspires me. And that's how you should look at other artists, learning from what they do and get inspired by them. If you want to compare yourself with someone else, then compare your own art with your past art. Compare yourself with yourself. I know that sometimes it might not look like it, but if you grab a drawing that you drew this week and another that you did last year, you'll see huge differences. Every year I like to do this thing, where I pick up an old illustration I did and remake it. I think it's a very fun exercise to do and helps you acknowledge how much you've changed and improved. And this is why you should never throw out any art you've done. Even if you think it's terrible, keep everything, either on folders on your computer or in boxes. I still have all my sketchbooks and I amaze myself at how much I change. not only my drawings but my process as well. You can even see the confidence building up with each sketch. Trust me, do this, keep everything and then look at it a few years later. Now this brings us to the next tip, which is practice. I know, you've heard this one before, but it's true. Remember when I said I stopped being confident in my art? Do you know why that was? Because I wasn't drawing often either. I started drawing less and less. Of course I couldn't get better this way. So when I came back at it, I decided to make one drawing every day for a month. And that really helped. The trick I used was to draw the things that I liked. At the time it was fun art for me. I drew a lot of fun art from games that I liked. For example, Dragon Age and Mass Effect. I remember I was really getting into BioWare games at the time. I also used to draw a lot of Dragon Ball fan art because it's something I always liked. So if you're having trouble in being confident in your art, draw things that you enjoy. It can be fun art from video games, movies, graphic novels or series that you like. If you really like to draw from nature, then go outside. Take pictures of trees, flowers or sceneries that you find interesting and draw them. Maybe you prefer to draw animals. Then do the same. If you can't find a whole lot of animals outside, go on the internet. Websites like Unsplash and Pexels have a lot of stock photos that you can use as reference for your drawings. Another option is looking up image references on Pinterest. There you can even create several boards and you can come back to these whenever you want. Along with drawing what you like, try to draw studies of the subject you want to draw and be better at. For example, if you want to draw people, then make anatomy studies. This way you're learning and practicing at the same time. Your art style later on might not be very realistic, but it's important to know the basics. So if you want to learn how to draw a body, then make lots of drawings of human bodies. If you want to get better at hands, fill a few pages of your sketchbook with hands. Practice by repetition will help you a lot. As you draw, you're memorizing the shapes and at some point, you won't need that visual reference as often. Don't even worry about art style yet. Usually, once we start drawing, we worry a lot about what our style is. Well, first, even if you don't notice it, you already have your own style. The way you draw is different than the way I draw. We all have a different drawing process. Secondly, you're still learning the drawing part. As you get more comfortable with drawing, you can start developing your style even more. Style is something that comes with practice, so don't worry, you'll get there in no time. For now, focus on learning the basics and feeling comfortable with your lines and tools. Now, to practice, we need to find some motivation. Loving to draw is always a good motivator. If drawing is something you're always excited about, then you won't find any difficulty into starting to draw, and that's great. For some people, however, this isn't the case. It's not that you hate, but if something doesn't inspire you to, then you won't feel motivated to draw. The trick here is to find things that inspire you. This is one of the reasons I'm always trying to consume art. Seeing others drawing motivates me to draw and gives me new ideas. Sometimes I get ideas when I read a comic book or play a new game. Stories in general give me inspiration to draw. I either want to draw fan art of the stories I've read or watch, or I come up with my own characters and stories for them. I never drew a comic, at least not that I remember, but I always try to give a hint of story to my drawings. For example, this girl I drew, she has a story, something that I try to convey with what she's wearing and where she is. She wears very comfortable clothes. She came to that hill with the purpose of watching the shooting stars. So, in this case, maybe she's very sporty and likes to hike or do other kind of sports on her free time. These are small things, but coming up with a backstory for every illustration I do helps me add elements to my drawings and tell a small story with them. Other example, since I really like drawing characters, I get inspired by outfits a lot. Some days I even go out and I really like my outfit, so later I sketch out characters using a similar outfit. If you find the things that motivate you to draw, then you won't have any problem in drawing every day. In case you feel that nothing inspires you, Then, before picking the pencil, look for inspiration. Write a list of things that you like to do. For example, do you like to cook? Then, drawing food, cooking utensils, domestic scenes in the kitchen is something you'll enjoy as well. Do you prefer gardening, for example? Then drawing plants and flowers might be a good motivator for you. The trick is always to find the things that you like and enjoy doing. Then you have motivation and drawing ideas. Once you find those, pick up the pencil and start drawing. Now, lastly, be patient. Try not to think about it. The more we think about something, the harder it is to achieve it. You probably won't feel super confident from one day to the next. It will happen gradually and chances are you won't even notice. It also really depends on how you're feeling in general. For example, sometimes I don't feel as good about my art as others. It's not like I compare myself to other artists anymore. I know what my art is and I like it. But some days I just feel it's not really there. And that's okay. And there's where the confidence comes in. I know that even though today I'm not feeling my art, I know that tomorrow I will. I know how to make it feel like it's mine again. So just focus on having fun with your drawings. You'll see that with each stroke, you'll get more and more confident. You'll even notice it in the way you draw your lines. They look less tense, more natural and more you. Be patient, practice a lot and above all, have fun. I hope these tips were helpful for you and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Also, if you're interested in participating, join Draw the Prompt over on Instagram. Just add the Draw the Prompt hashtag and tag us at @Corgi so we can share your work. And remember, keep on drawing.